Get away from her, you bitch!
Oh, shut up, you tart!
Who disrupts my coronation?
Get to the chopper!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Good evening, everybody. Rejoice. I'm back, bitches. How you all doing? This is on your Geek Showing. And with me, as ever, she's the hostess with the mostess. She's the Wednesday night delight, talking shite. It is Carly Valentine, that bitch.
Good evening, everybody out there in the YouTube land. Hope you've had a good week. How have you been, Guy?
I've been very well, thank you. I had a lovely night out to see the Wild Arts last night at that there Rock City.
Ooh,
But big shout outs to me boys Dan and Sed from No Setting Sun, who went out with me, and it was great fun, and I got shit-faced.
I can imagine shenanigans were had.
Oh, there was a great deal of shenanigans. Oh, and some shenanigans as well.
Shenanigans. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, he's off it again. Oh, fuck.
No.
But yeah, so that's been absolutely lovely.
Oh, that's good, as long as you had a good time. And last weekend, as stated in video, I had my birthday.
You did happy birthday.
So this weekend I've had my daughter here, so that's been fun.
Yay.
It's watching yet more Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Her favorite show. It's on repeat. Like I say, I just literally pass her the PlayStation pad, like find something to watch. I'm tidying up, and Big Bang Theory will go on. That's what I mean when I say like on episodes like what you've been watching this week. Well, Big Bang Theory on in the background. That's what I mean. It's on in the background while I'm in the kitchen tidying up and everything. She sat here watching it. I can just hear it.
Yeah.
So, you know. But yeah, so
the joys. With my daughter, it's always young Sheldon.
Oh, I still want to see the final season of that.
Oh, you want to? It's really good. There's very sad parts.
I can imagine. I can imagine. But this was my tangent alert to everyone already. This was kind of my issue going into young Sheldon. I was like, because it's brought up in Big Bang Theory more than once about his dad. It's like when the series started and he's age 11, I was like, you're going to only get four or five seasons out of it before you have to deal with the fact that his dad passes away. And, you know, for seasons 2 and 3, he was 11 for like 2 years, which shit out of me.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to see it. I'm invested into it now. I need to see it through to the end. So I do want to see how it ends. But anyway, back on form, back to what we're supposed to be doing tonight.
Indeed. We better start out with some shoutouts.
Shoutouts. We got to go all the way back to our Gargoyles episode because JK got settled in his new place, jumped straight on his computer and started typing away lovely comments. So,
oh, bless you, JK.
It says, "G'day from the land down under. I never got into Gargoyles for some reason. Heard a lot about
sensible man, that JK. Sensible
man. But just one of many I missed out on. I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they jumped the shark in season 3 and it just lost it.
Oh my God, yes.
Though the Ghost Rider episodes were great, I must admit, I was getting to that, like, I think I'm going to nope out of this show. And then they brought the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider into it, the one who drives the Charger. And I was like, okay, this is something I like Ghost Rider. So to see a different interpretation of the Ghost Rider, I was invested in that season, but it was underutilized. Underutilized is the best way of putting it. Are you a Marvel or DC? Both, as long as it's not Image. The only Image character that I actually like is Spawn. I have She-Spawn and a Spawn figure up on the shelf. But other Image things like Wildcats and Youngblood and all that kind of stuff, I was just like, no, there's too many pouches. Why does one person need that many pouch. I mean, okay, maybe it's overemphasizing about each pouch has got some ammunition in it for them big guns they're carrying. Yeah, but how inconvenient is it to stop midway through a fight and find which pouch isn't empty?
Yeah.
So it just Image was not for me as a child. Spawn, yes, the rest of it not so much. Anyway, what you been watching? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The last week I've been moving house, so I've had no time at all. But if I did, it would still be The Walking Dead. I have made it my mission to start and not change from a series until I have completed it. Fair play.
Yeah. Can't follow that.
What I'm doing with them, their Winchester boys. Yeah. We'll get into that in a little bit. What a voice cast of both recurring and guest stars. Sounds awesome. Talking about Gargoyles, list of alumni in that one. And yeah, honestly, like there are, even I can admit as a lifelong fan, there are a few episodes that are a bit, really? But when those good episodes do come up with these, voice talents behind the characters, it's like, that's when the show really, really shines. That's the thing. It's got its low points, but when it hits its high notes, it is grand and epic. The music, the voice acting, the animation, it's just like, go big or go home. Great vid. Moving on to the next comment. I need to move my mouse. I do apologize. From 10 days ago on our X-Men 97 episode, it is again the Ginger Ninja JK. G'day from my new place. Thank you for the well wishes and kind words. The move went somewhat smoothly, sanity mostly intact. See, when I read that comment first time around in my head, I heard that in the Newt voice. Sanity mostly intact. Mostly. Didn't come out at night. Mostly. I've been watching nothing, but I am looking forward to Reacher and Daredevil Born Again. My daughter asked me about this one the other day. Have I watched Daredevil Born Again? I says, no, not yet, because I want to wait for at least sort of 4 or 5 episodes to build up and then binge watch that, because I've mentioned this before. I hate sitting there going, I gotta wait till next week. I don't share very well. What can I say? I'm impatient.
So weird.
But I am going to sit and give it a watch, because the trailers I've seen of it, the fact that they brought back the Bernthal Punisher as well, that's just filled me with joy, because no spoilers here, but the way that Punisher series ended was like, there's more to this. We need to see more of this Punisher. Like, it was open-ended. They didn't end it with killing him off or nothing. It was open-ended. It's like, we need more of this Punisher. I think he nailed the character. But anyway, moving on. Also, one that I forgot to watch and I'm looking forward to is Invincible. That's the superhero one. I keep seeing that pop up on my Prime. It's like a superhero animated show. Kind of feels, from what I've seen of it, it looks like a bit like The Boys, but not in that kind of satire-y kind of way. It's like a more serious version of The Boys, like superheroes being dicks, but everyone's fully aware that they're dicks, I think. I don't know much about it. I might give it a check. Might push a Polish person and say, here you go. Let's give him a check.
Racist.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I've said worse. Anyway. Anyway, I may have to mute that moment there. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
I really, really, really enjoyed X-Men 97. This was, from my recollection, damn near 100% comic book accurate. The Magneto costume, the removal of Wolverine's adamantium, Professor X, and going to the Shi'ar and coming back, blah, 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 blah. I have theories as to where season 2 will go, but I don't think it will be Age of Apocalypse will be it yet. My secret shame is I never finished the original series. You know those moments where you really, really fuck up when you're growing up and your parents turn around to you. They don't shout, they don't scream. They just have that blank look and they go, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That's the look we're giving you right now, JK. We're not angry. We're just very, very disappointed in you. I mean, that's a Jimmy level fuck up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Jimmy levels. Jimmy's got more levels than fucking Mario. Love you, Jimmy. Anyway, back on track. Where was I? Yes. The last season wasn't aired in Australia, and I haven't had time to go back and watch it on Disney Plus. Great video and discussion. All to be fair, if it wasn't originally aired in Australia for the 5th season, that is a bit of an issue. But with that said, season 5 is much shorter than the other seasons, and there's a big change in animation style.
Yeah.
And for me, it didn't work for some characters, but it did for others because it kind of went more detailed, but more heavy on the shadow and the shading from what I remember. Yeah. And some characters, it worked to like accent their costumes and stuff. And other characters just looked like Beast looked black with a blue outline.
Yeah.
But for continuity's sake, give it a viewing because X-Men 97 literally picks up a year after the events of 5 finale. So for canon's sake, you need to give it a watch. Right, moving on to the next shout out. Speaking of Jimmy, he has left us a comment from the X-Men 97 episode, which was the episode he was on. Hello from the mouth of the southwest of Derbyshire. Thanks for having me on the episode again. It was awesome to talk all things X-Men related. Apologies on the tech difficulties and becoming distracted with fussing my kitty. No, that's not a euphemism. It's been a busy and weird week. I managed to start watching Resident Alien on Netflix. Very interesting and funny show with Alan Tudyk, aka Wash from Firefly. Basic premise is an alien played by Tudyk has crash landed on Earth when attempting to complete a mission. He is now attempting to complete the mission, but also attempting to fit in with the local human population. Has dark humor to it. Definitely worth the time. Looking forward to the next episode. Signing off. I did watch the trailer for that. And I was like, that looks quite intriguing because it's one of those shows where you think you know what's going to happen from the trailer, but I've got a feeling it's going to have a twist. Like one of those, oh, I did not see that coming kind of moments. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those kind of shows. And I have been meaning to check it out, but with working on the books as much as I've been doing recently, birthday coming around, recording 2 episodes back to back, which is why we had no shout outs last week, and everything else I've had going on, I've just not had time to really sit and watch anything unless it's on in the background or on when I'm falling asleep. So, but yeah, I do want to give that a watch. On to the next comment. It's another one from JK. This one is from the Hellraiser episode that I did with Little Spark Films, having Joe Manco and Catalina Corrida back on the show for one more time. Was fantastic. It was catching up with them. I didn't actually realize that we first interviewed them over 2 years ago.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, it was over 2 years ago. I was like, shit, no, it wasn't that long ago. But I checked the date the video went out and everything, and I was like, we recorded that about 3 months before that episode dropped.
Yeah.
It's been nearly 3 years since we actually, properly talked to them and whatnot. And it was just great.
Sorry, I couldn't make that one, by the way, folks.
No worries at all. It was just scheduling conflicts. That was all. But yes, JK, great discussion. This is one of those films I like, but as I hold the original in such high regard, this had a lot to live up to. While it hit most of the points, the film took too long to get going, in my opinion, of course. I had that in brackets. And then really didn't keep the pace throughout. That being said, the film overall wasn't a bad movie and is much better than some of those sequels you mentioned. Though Hellworld had its moments of fun. I must admit, the only thing that I can really remember about Hellworld is it features a very young Henry Cavill and he gets a blowjob by a woman in a mask. That's about the most memorable thing that I can pick out from Hellworld. So, As for casting, Jamie Clayton did a phenomenal job in the role. Much, much, much better than the last two Pinheads. To be fair, the Hellraiser Judgment Pinhead, from what I have watched of that film, I've never watched it all the way through. It was on at a friend's house. I had to leave before it finished, and I never got back to watching the end of it. But from what I saw, I think the actor's name is Paul Taylor, I think. From what I saw of his Pinhead, I was like, it's a good take on Pinhead. It's better than the one we had in Revelations. That's a definite. But this isn't meant to be this, because you can tell by the way he's dressed. It's like, this is not meant to be the Pinhead that we saw in the last 8 films. This is meant to be a different Pinhead, I feel. Like someone else. But that could just be my take on it. I don't know. Anyway, overall, it's a film that has greatness in it, but didn't quite get there. Maybe the sequel, if we ever see it, will reach the lofty heights. And happy birthday. Thank you for the birthday, JK. I will kind of agree with on some of those points. My first criticism on my first couple of viewings of the film was it is a little long. There are sections in it where you just want it to pick up the pace a little bit, and then it does, and then it slows down a little bit more. So I think that if maybe certain little interactions and just incidental moments in the background had been trimmed down ever so slightly, may have helped the pacing. But much like JK said, that's something for them to address in the sequel. I mean, this is a new film in a franchise that hasn't had a new film in a good long while, and it was breaking new ground in a lot of ways. So those little missteps that we complain about are something for the directors and the writers and whatnot to go, okay, we'll pace it a little bit better next time.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. That's what happens when you have 2 weeks back to build. Right. Up next, we have the son of the Pertwee, the Calico Crichton, Gaptooth Tony himself. Great episode as always, guys. Really do need to start watching the original series. And of course, Gargoyles. This is from the X-Men episode. Sorry, I forgot.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, which are both on Disney Plus. As always, it was good to hear you three chatting about what sounds like an awesome series. Sadly, I missed all of these classic animated series from the 80s and 90s, but I'm going to be making inroads to catching up. You got 20 years, Tony. Good luck. You've got 20 years worth of stuff to get through.
Not long enough for him.
No. Catching up with them the best. Catching up with the best of them. There we go. Keep up the startling work, guys, and I'm already looking forward to the next episode. Also, as always, thanks for the shout out, and I love support for my channel. It's very much appreciated. Live long and prosper. Well, we'll try and live long, but more on that later in the season.
No.
And snagging top comment of the week, because he commented 23 hours ago from our Hellraiser episode. It is Jimmy Lee Clifford yet again.
Slide it in, late as usual.
Yeah, slide it in nice and quick. You know, Hippo Birthday to use. Yeah, okay. Great episode, very interesting discussion of the Hellraiser franchise. Feel that I may have to watch the other Hellraiser films, even if they disappoint. That's kind of one thing I will say is when you've already seen them and you're talking to somebody else about them, you're giving an opinion of, yeah, I didn't like this about it, I didn't like that about it. But if they've never seen them, I will say to people, look, if you've never watched any of the later sequels past number 4, give them a watch at least once, just so you can say, 1, you've watched it. 2, we can have a discussion about, did you get what I mean when I was talking about it now? People can be like, yeah, I watched it. I totally got what you meant with that scene. Like, it's just little things like that. So if you've never watched it, give it a watch. That's all we can really say.
Yeah.
I hope they do more with Jamie Clayton Pinhead. Did a fantastic job along with bringing more of the lore back. Yeah, like we said in the episode, just the fact that this is the first real time since sort of 3 and 4 that they've really deepened the lore of Hellraiser, bringing Leviathan back, the mentions of the labyrinth, the different configurations and things like that. It's like, yeah, this is deepening the the mythology behind the franchise. Keep it up with that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next episode. Signing off, and that's it for the shout outs. Done. We are all caught up with the shout outs, and that only took 20 minutes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. We're not complaining when we say that. It's just
No, we're not.
This was the crux of the way we had to sort the filming schedule. I ended up filming 2 weeks episode a day after each other, which meant there was on one episode, there was no shout outs. There was no what you were watching. It was just straight into it. And that was the Hellraiser episode. But that had the backlash of then we had to backtrack to the X-Men episode for all of the comments, which is what we've just done. And I'm tired now. Can we go to sleep?
Yeah.
All right, shall we move it on to the next segment of the show, Guy?
Yes, we will indeed. We have to ask that question once again. What have you been watching, mate?
Woo, what have you been watching? I've been watching them there Winchester Boys. Oh, and as I spoke to you, because you gave me a little video call on my birthday, and I was watching Supernatural at that time, I found out what my birthday episode is.
Oh, what is it?
The Hookman Killer.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, because that was episode 7 of season 1. And I was like, well, I watched that one on my birthday. It's the 7th episode of the season. Yeah, okay. This is now my birthday episode. I'm fine with that. It's a good episode. But yeah, I've been watching 1 episode a day-ish, maybe 2 in a day and skipping a day. But the thing that's got me about it, and I talked sort of to Jimmy about this recently, is that the one thing I've noticed is because I watched the first couple of seasons, took a slight break, jumped it back in where I left off, and then watched it all the way through. There was a lot from the earlier seasons that I couldn't really remember. And doing this rewatch, there's been whole episodes that I go, I don't remember any of this. So it's been a nice eye-opener, a nice refresher course ready for later. So just like I said before, when catching actors, like, I didn't know they were in this. I missed that the first time around. And one film that I did watch the other night, I put it on, I was like, this can go on in the background. And then I got absorbed into it because it was actually kind of good for a direct-to-DVD sequel. I watched The Butterfly Effect 3.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, now I watched the first one, and the first one I really enjoyed. The first
I like that. It's the only one I've seen.
I watched the second one. It was not good. Not good at all, especially with the implication at the end of the film, like, wait, no, that's creepy. I'm not going with that ending. I don't like that. That's no. But the third one sets up the premise that a guy who can jump back and change time and everything decides to jump back and not change time, but observe. And he sort of pretends to be a psychic helping the police solve murders by jumping back and observing the murder so he can give them evidence, basically making himself a witness to inform them. But then things start to happen, and it's like he keeps jumping back, and the more he jumps back, the more people that die. And it's a bit of a red herring that you think it's going to be like a future version of him that's like gone crazy and is going back, but the twist that happens, I was like, oh, okay. Did not see that coming. So I was pleasantly surprised because I got kind of sucked into it with the whole premise of he's jumped back in time and inadvertently created a serial killer. I was like,
yeah,
this is kind of interesting. I like the premise of that. Now, okay, it may be not the best acted or the best cinematography, but the premise alone and the story kind of kept me hooked into it long enough to get to the end of the film. Now, okay, there was a bit at the ending. I was like, well, if that changed, and then they wouldn't meet this person. So there was people that were there at the end. It's like, you shouldn't know those people working by the laws of you've established already. These people you should not know these people. So, but like I said, it sucked me and it kept me engaged. So that was worth a watch. And like I said, Big Bang Theory, that's it for this week. Been too busy for anything else.
Wow. Over to me then, I guess.
Over to you, Mr. Random Man.
Right. Well, I've watched Foxes Afloat.
Oh, that's the canal boat people you were talking about previously.
We were at that. They're no longer on a canal boat. They're now in the Highlands of Scotland.
Ooh.
on a small holding.
Okay. It's funny you
But it
mentioned that.
continues to be really good.
I actually follow someone on TikTok.
Mm,
Lovely guy. He's got Tourette's, and he's got a small holding with his chickens and things like that. And he makes videos and carries on through his ticks and everything.
yeah.
And they're highly entertaining because he's teaching you about like what it's like to have a small holding and stuff like that. And he's
Mm.
even said like, please don't feel bad if you laugh at my ticks. It's better that you laugh than get offended at the things I'm saying. And just him holding a chicken and calling it a cocksucker is just
Mm.
it's gold. I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
Can't really help it, but the lovely guy just carries the fuck on. And you mentioning a small hole just tweaked that in my brain.
Yeah.
So I really do think I'm going to give these people a viewing.
Yeah. So that is what I've watched. So I'm going to call an audible. The question you should be asking is, what you been gaming, mate?
Oh, slight tweak to the format. I like it when we get a bit of a tweak.
Yeah. So I went down to that there CEX and traded in games, which was nice. And in return, I got 68 quid.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Thought you'd think that. So I've got the following. Who's there?
Oh, Tekken 8. Oh,
Fantastic.
I can
Graphically, gameplay. Guess what? Tekken Ball's back.
Oh, yay! Oh, I used to spend hours on that with my friends. Oh, that's a classic. That is classic.
And next,
Oh, WWE 2K24. Oh,
graphically great, but they've changed the controls again.
they
And
do.
I'm struggling. Why do you keep changing the controls every fucking year?
Yes, that is the one inconsistency with those games is that you get used to a control scheme and then you buy the latest edition of it. And then all of a sudden, everything's moved. You've got to learn a different button combination. It's like, it worked. It worked
Yeah.
for like 10 years. Why change it? Like, bastard.
And
Oh, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Oh, I have played that.
fun.
I
Tons
have
of
played
fun.
that. I did have that on my PlayStation 4 for a time, and me and my daughter would always do two-player on it. Always, like
That's
we
been
would-
lovely fun.
I could
And
imagine.
of course, GTA Online.
Of course.
Got to, man. Yeah.
Got to. Do you know what I make? Do you know what I might have to give it a re-download?
Mm,
Share codes. Share gamer tags. I'll jump online with you on the PS4
sweet.
because you can do.
Can you do that?
Yes, if you're on PS4, I can. If you're on a PS5, I can play GT on a PS4 and still play online with you.
Oh, cool. Don't know you can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nice one.
Well, because the game works on both.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, nice. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. Right. And that will be it for that bit. So I guess it's time for the meat of the episode, folks.
it's time for the meat and two veg of the episode.
I'm a man of music, as you all know. So I won't keep on around that. So we've decided to go back to those damn lovely soundtracks because we love them.
Yes. And I did go back and watch our previous episode on this, so I didn't make the same picks twice because that has happened on here before.
I didn't. So let's have
I
the
did,
jeopardy.
but do you know what got me right? Tangent alert here, folks, before we get into this, right? When Tony is on his retro movie zone and he's talking about like when you go back and look at your older videos, I went back to this. I didn't realize this. It's been, again, like with the Hellraiser interview, it's been over 2 years since we did soundtrack stuff, right? And I look at the graphics and the lighting was off like so much, and I was just like, that looks so bad. I feel so ashamed that I actually fucking published that. What the fuck was I thinking at the time? But it just goes to show, like Tony said, that the more you do this, the more you improve. Like I look at the way I do the layout of the show now, leaps and bounds. I'm comfortable with it. I like the way it looks, you know. That's my prerogative, you know.
Yeah.
It's my channel. It's our channel, but I birthed it.
Yes.
Guy's the stepdad. He's the stepdad to Calico.
Yes.
Much like any
Take that to
stepdad,
McDonald's once a week.
much like many stepdads, one day he's going to step out for cigarettes and just not come back.
Wow. Harsh.
Oh, in there. Call it when an orphan takes a selfie, family portrait.
Oh.
Anyway.
Guess we've got that bit out as well.
But yeah,
Look,
I went back and checked, and I was like, right, I know not to pick those ones anymore, but we've got 5 movie soundtracks and TV.
Yes.
So we've got 5 each. Who's gonna go first? We need like a roulette wheel.
Yeah. Well, you go first. Shit before shovel.
Anyway, right, I'll go first. Okay, up first. I'm gonna go with.
Oh, are you in any particular order?
These are no particular order. These are as they're in my fucking brain floating around. But one of my first picks, I was listening to the soundtrack earlier today because it's a good soundtrack, the incidental music and the stuff that happens within the film itself. And I'm going to go with that 80s classic, one of the earliest films that I probably shouldn't be watching due to its level of violence. He is, of course, part man, part machine, all cop. It is, of course, RoboCop.
Nice.
Do, 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 But like I said, the whole soundtrack, the incidental music, the stuff, what always catches me, like I've talked about this before, watching older films with my fancy headphones on, picking up more of the music than do for like a normal TV. And the incidental music where he's starting to try and remember who he is. The bit where he's doing the walk through the house and he's having flashes of memories.
Yeah.
The incidental music in the background of that, when you hear it fully, it's like, now I get why that piece of music is on that part of the film. It's so like, like you feel like, but again, RoboCop, it's a fantastic film, and the music goes along with it. I was very torn between this and the Terminator. Terminator for me is much more action orientated. It doesn't have these emotional moments like RoboCop does. And for me, the musical score for RoboCop just edges it slightly in front of Terminator because of that. It's got those high action moments, but then it's got these soft emotional moments with like gentle flutes and violins and stuff. And it's just like, oh, poor Robo. Like you get, it ties you into the emotional themes that are going on with the character. Whereas Terminator, it's dun 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 dun. It's like, you're there to blow people away. Like that's what it's there for. But yeah, my first pick, RoboCop. What are your thoughts on the RoboCop music, guy?
Oh, I've got to agree with all your points there. It's bloody great.
It is.
It totally fits it as well.
Yeah, it's got that kind of futuristic but sort of synth kind of stuff going on.
But also orchestra.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? That was one of the earliest things I picked out from RoboCop was it's the big battle at the end of the steel mill. And there's a bit where he's kind of walking along a walkway. He's just holding his gun up, just walking. And there's this beautiful moment where the explosions stop long enough so you just hear this fantastic rise of like high-pitched flutes. It just hits it, and it's like, I heard that when I was really, really young. I was like, that kind of made me want to pick up a flute. I never did it, but I was just like, hearing, I was like, if that's how a flute can sound, I now like flute music. Like, if that's how it can come across, mixed in with other instruments in that action moment.
That's funny. I thought you liked playing the pinko, but
only on a Tuesday.
Okay then.
And only if they're paying. All right, Sid, back in your box.
Box.
Right, guy. Your first pick.
My first pick. Pick. Yeah. Sid, that's not funny.
It is if you're talking about a dick pic. You know, we're both going at it now. Come on. Your
Right.
first pick, guy. Get back on.
So, it's time to go into the world of adult cinema. Ooh, I'm talking about Boogie Nights, folks. Brilliant, brilliant soundtrack. Various artists.
Oh, yeah, because the film spans like two decades, is it? About
Yeah.
2 decades, yeah.
So you've got brilliant 70s disco funk, loveliness, but you've also got some 80s rock and power ballads.
Yes, you do.
And of course,
you do.
for a pair of Transformers nuts like ourselves, that we are, the sight and sounds of Mark Wahlberg singing Stan Bush's The Touch.
Touch. Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
moment.
touch.
Comedy gloriousness.
Do you know what, right? It's funny that you brought that up because in watching the previous episode, one of my picks was Transformers, and you mentioned the fact that The Touch was in Boogie Nights. So,
Yeah,
in a roundabout way, that's an Easter egg.
it is.
See, drop it in the comments if you got that before I mentioned it. If as soon as Guy mentioned it, it's like, you talked about this before. If you caught it, please let us know in the comments.
But it's just a moment. Him and John C. Reilly are just hilarious together. But the whole thing is just got so many good tunes.
Yeah, I will say I've only seen Boogie Nights once all the way through it, right? But much like a lot of films of that kind of time frame, I want to say, that were set in a decade,
the
soundtracks were always on point.
Yeah.
No matter what decade it was set in, if it was set in the 60s, 70s, 80s, the soundtrack would always have, yeah. Like every track would be like, that had to be on this. Yeah. Like it was a checklist of those big songs. So
yeah, that is.
Where we are.
That's my first pick.
Okie dokie then. Right. Well, my second pick, I'm going to go with a TV theme tune for this one. We are going to go to the sewers of New York and hang out with those cowabunga pizza munching heroes in a half shell for
Little power.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Or if you were in Britain back in the day,
Hero Turtles.
Because Auntie Beeb didn't like the word ninja.
Yes. And they were actually part of the reason why Michelangelo's nunchucks eventually got phased out of the animation and he started using a grappling hook. There was a lot of parents' rights groups were like, he uses nunchucks, they're dangerous. Yeah, because a man covered in razor-sharp blades on his arms is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He's just going to a cheese slicing contest. That's why his name's the Shredder. Fuck off.
Oh, God. Right, tangent alert. Sandy tagged me in a P and a thing on Facebook today. And it's a cheese grater with Shredder's head and shoulders on the top. So she had to take me into that. I'm just like, oh, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I married you, shit like that.
Yes.
She gets me.
Little moments like that, it's like, now I know why we're together. Those moments when I have my doubts, I just look at pictures like that and go, that's why I love you.
Yeah. It's like that time that Rose got bit by a spider. She goes, I've been bitten. And I'm like, well, with great power comes great responsibility. Sandy pisses herself laughing. Like,
if you start hanging from the ceiling, I'm out of here.
Yeah. But anyway, tangent over.
There we go. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, any kind of variation of the tune, from whether it's the cartoon, the movies, the more slightly modernized versions of it, there's hit and miss with that one. But, you know, I'm from that time frame where, you know, Turtle Mania hit, you know, 92.
Yeah.
You know, I had like crap ton of the figures. I had like the coats, the lunch boxes, stationary stuff. You know, I was that kid that Turtle Mania took over my life for a short period of my life. So I heard that theme tune a lot, and it's one that's just stuck with me up until crazy adulthood.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as someone says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I just can't help but. And props to video game people who made Shredder's Revenge. They did a full-on new version of it for that video game for the intro cutscene, and it plays out like it's the full song, and it's fully animated with the characters from the game and everything. And it's just like, check it out on YouTube if you've not seen it. Shredder's Revenge. Just the intro alone, as soon as it starts off, it's like got a heavy guitar. It's like, Teenage Mutant. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a kid again. So yeah, game worth playing, and it's multiplayer, so you can probably play it with Rose. It's some arcade styled side scrolling beat 'em up.
Oh, I love it. Oh, she busy playing Tekken. So
There you go. But yeah, you can play as April and Casey Jones.
Oh, cool.
And it's basically the graphic style is like the cartoon show.
Yeah.
So
I'll check that.
Check it out. But yeah, that moves us on to your next pick.
Well, it's time to get to Mexico, folks. What's in Mexico?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Being totally racist this week. I love it. Well, I don't love it, actually. Yeah, damn. So, yes, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez at their best.
And Quentin Tarantino knows a thing or two about doing a fucking cool soundtrack, does he not?
Oh, every film of his, just Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
Once
Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was a great soundtrack. But From Dusk Till Dawn is one of my favorites. From the start, just a great soundtrack. From the Blasters classic Dark Knight to Tito and Tarantula to all of it. It's just brilliant. You got some hard rocking blues on there. You got some very slow blues on there. You got some country. You got a bit of everything, and it's marvelous. And again, it fits with the film.
It does. It's
perfectly.
The dance that Salma Hayek does, that the song that's playing during that, like, I mean, the visuals alone, of course, but just the song, like you just said, fits what's happening at that time. And side note with that film, I love the fact that good old Cheech Marine from Cheech and Chong plays 3 different characters in one film. He's a guy at the Border Patrol. He's the greeter at the bar, and the dude at the end who's coming to meet him. It's like the meme from Avengers. Tony Stark. That guy's playing Gallagher. Didn't think we'd notice, but we did. It's like, you didn't think we'd notice he's playing 3 characters, but those who know him, we noticed.
Well, we noticed.
But that was a good little. I think it's a thing. It's just a thing with him.
Quentin Tarantino knows how to make a film. He also knows how to save a book, apparently. Squeeze that budget.
Oh, yes.
So, if you've not seen it, which I can't imagine anyone on here not have seen it, apart from maybe one person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Yul Brynner there. Yeah.
More like Gruel Brenner.
Ooh.
I don't know what's got into me.
More like get in the binner. Jeez. So
while we're still on the air.
Yeah. So go and watch that, folks. Or get over to that Spotify and type it in and have a listen.
YouTube's got quite a lot of movie soundtracks on there.
Yeah.
So that's where I listen to a lot of mine because I will put a movie soundtrack on while I'm sat typing away.
Nice.
It's background music. There's no vocals, so I don't get
Mm.
lost in that, and I don't start sitting here typing what they've been singing. I've done that once or twice. Got so in the zone, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just typing out the lyrics. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, check it out. Check it out.
Your turn. Number 3. Pick number 3 because we are using the rule of 5.
Yes, 5 in total.
Patented Higgins rule.
Yes, one that kind of surprised me when I was going through my list because originally I jumped the gun and I was doing 5 shows and 5 films because that's what we did last time. When guys said no, we need to whittle it down, I was like, okay, let's whittle this list down a little bit. And one that surprised me that I kind of stuck with when working out which ones to keep, which ones to cut, was Hook, the Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, Peter Pan sequel. Done. I think the music was done by the guy that you mentioned last time, John Williams. And I forgot.
He's done a finger too.
Yes, and I really had forgotten because it's been a long time since I watched Hook. It was one of those films that my parents had taped off the TV, so I watched it a lot when I was a kid. But it's been a long time since I watched it. But listening, it's not that bad.
It's shite.
That's been nice.
I've got a visual aid.
He's not going to show us a box of shit, is he? Fucking prick. But no, the music for the film is really, really good. I listened to it on its own properly for the first time recently. I like the music for Hook. Okay, your next choice. Seeing as you quite literally just poo-pooed on my last one.
Oh, hold on. If I do this, it's on your head.
You're the only shithead around here. Right, get on with it before I lube a pineapple.
Right, okie dokie. It's time to go to TV land.
Ooh.
Stranger Things.
Oh, do you know what? That was going to be one of my picks, but I was like, no, I'm saving that for a later date. I've got something in mind with that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Continue. Yeah, Stranger Things, the soundtrack's fucking awesome.
Yeah, from the actual theme music itself, I love that.
Yeah, very
Just
simple.
that lovely sort of cloudy synth. It's really cool.
And again, if you listen to that sort of the extended one on its own, it's very.
I have done, yeah, it's cool. But their choice of music that they use throughout the series is just brilliant.
Like Hurricane when Billy shows up.
Yeah, or the use of Elegy by Joy Division in the funeral in the first season. I thought that was just an amazing choice. That's such an achingly beautiful piece of music.
Exactly. See, this is what I said to you about the show. You'd like it for the music. Even if you didn't get the story, you'd love it for the music.
Yeah.
You would.
All right, you got me. You know. So, but yeah, I imagine it cost them a fortune to get the rights for certain songs.
Whoa, especially in season 4.
Yes.
With the importance of those songs, but how much money those songs with the promotion going around with Stranger Things must have raked in for those people playing those songs. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, Mr. Hetfield and Mr. Ulrich were
I'm sure they were
quite happy
when their royalty check bounced off the floor like, oh, hello.
Hello. Fuck, it'd be that heavy you go through the fucking.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Then like, I've never seen that many zeros. Like,
what about Spencer without fixing the floor now?
Yeah, well, I mean, face it, it was in pretty much all the marketing for season.
Yeah.
You know, they really leaned into that. But it's one of the best scenes in season 4, that though, for me. Like that moment, just he's there, just dun, 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 like,
yeah, very cool, very cool. But throughout the whole thing is just brilliant.
Yes, I can definitely agree with you. Like you said, the incidental music, the theme music, and the actual
Yeah.
licensed music that they used in the show. Like I said, when Billy came into it, Rocky Like a Hurricane playing, I was like, this guy's going to be the asshole of the season.
Yeah.
Like just from that intro alone, but love his car.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's shirtless for most of his, well, near shirtless for most of his scenes, and
Yes, the ladies by the pool like that.
the hair and
Anyhow,
anyway, sorry, yeah. Coming back to the show.
Yeah, pick number 4 for you.
Pick number 4 for me. I'm going to go back to my childhood for another cartoon classic.
Nice.
How this bumbling detective managed to get through and stop the mad organization, I will never know. But I am talking, of course, Inspector Gadget. Another staple of my childhood, another classic, and another one that is kind of in the pop culture zeitgeist at this point.
Mm.
You know, all you've got to do is those opening bars.
Yeah.
Go, gadget, go. Before we get demonetized or demonetized, I don't know.
I don't think we're getting monetized anytime soon.
We ain't even monetized at this motherfucking point. What are you on about?
Exactly. Well, I think it's going to happen.
But yeah, like I just said, I heard that so many times growing up. Whenever there was an advert for the show, watching the show on some TV channels where they break it up into little bits, they do like a little clip of the sound before they went into each part of the episode, and just I grew up with it. It's in here. It never leaves. Like Ninja Turtles, it's ingrained. It's carved into the back of my skull somewhere. You know. 1,000 years from now, they'll crack open my skull and say, "What the fuck does it say TMNT and Inspector Gadget on the inside of this person's skull?" Bit weird. That's a bit weird.
We'll have to find out what it is.
Let's get on the equivalent of Google. This is probably anything that's still around at that point.
Yeah.
We'll go ask the Grand High Zuckerbot if he knows what it is.
Fucking Zuckerbot that.
Anyway, but yeah.
Zuckerbot, guess what?
Yeah. We'll send it via airmail because then you can have a flying shit. Anyway, moving on to your 4th choice.
Right, it's time for some Bond action. So for that, there is that.
And every Bond theme ever.
Pretty much.
Well, I am Sam Smith one.
Oh, you can fuck right off. Guess what? Hey, guess what? Sam Smith.
Sam Shits. There you go.
Sam shit. But yeah. Let's go with the man with the. I went for the man with the gun. It's one of my favourite Bond themes. It's got great incidental music all the way through it.
Yes.
It's bloody lovely. And the title song sang by Lulu.
Oh, yes. For me, if push comes to shove when it comes to Bond themes, I will always go with more modern Bond. I go with The World Is Not Enough by Garbage.
That wasn't Garbage.
It was the lead singer from Garbage.
No.
World Is Not Enough?
Yeah, that was Sheryl Crow.
Yeah. No, that wasn't Sheryl Crow, was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, whoever it was. But anyway, continuing.
If you know, down there, comments. I could be wrong as well.
But anyway, but more classical Bond themes, I'd have to say The Living Daylights.
Nice. Good choice.
And the Guns N' Roses version, of course.
That's
where I first heard it.
Oh, you mean Live and Let Die?
That was it, sorry. Yeah, Live and Let Die. Not
Living Daylights was
But Living Daylights is a good one as well. So I
Yeah, good band.
confused them. I'm not a huge Bond fan.
Hmm.
Anyway, yes. So Bond theme, yeah, I can fully agree with you on that. They're all good songs in their own right, but there are just some more standout ones compared to others.
Yeah.
And anything by Shirley Bassey.
Oh gosh, Shirley.
Queen Shirley.
Queen Shirley. She's everyone's favourite Welshwoman.
Yeah, exactly. Her and Tom Jones.
But Tom Jones isn't a Welshwoman.
Welshman then. Two famous Welsh people. Mm. Don't you go woke. Fucking hell.
More chance of platinum fog.
More chance of platinum buzz.
Yeah.
God.
But so that's my number 4. Your number 5 then, mate.
My final pick of the night. Guilty pleasure film. I know
Better have old Simon shit.
Get shit on standby. Get shit on standby. Standby shit. There you go. That's the new mascot name. Standby shit. For me, this is a guilty pleasure film, but I absolutely love this film. Again, another film that I kind of grew up with watching. It was one of those films that I seen randomly, and I was like, I want to watch that. It's about a talking duck. I'm 5 years old. I want to see a film about a talking duck. Very early film for Leah Thompson and Tim Robbins. I am talking that underrated George Lucas classic, Howard the Duck.
Nice.
Now, honestly, the film may not be great. It might not be to many people's taste. I grew up in it. I have a little nostalgia place for it in my heart. As bad as it is, I still love it. But the soundtrack is all these kind of very quintessentially 80s metal. And sort of with a little bit of new romantics thrown in there a little bit. And even I was surprised going through the soundtrack how good a lot of the songs that are even just in the background for like 5 seconds. Yeah. They've got like a 5-minute track. It's like these songs are actually really, really good. And the main song, Howard the Duck, I cannot help every time it pops up on my YouTube playlist, but to help sort of just I just can't help but bop along to it. It's just so upbeat and so full of energy. And they save it right for the end of the film. And like you say, where it just fits the film.
Yeah.
These songs, the way they are used in the film, fit brilliantly with what's going on. Like it just fits the film perfectly. So even if you don't like the film, please check out the soundtrack for Howard the Duck.
Nice.
So on to you then, Guy. Your 5th and final pick of the night.
Well, it's got to be Anna. Yes.
Back to the Future. Of course.
And I'm not just picking one, I'm picking all 3.
The trilogy, yeah. I will say that. I mean, I love how each film, because it's set in the different decades, kind of has, even the background music kind of has that little tweak to fit the time period. And it's like in the 1950s, it's got that very 50s feel to it. When it's set in the 2015s, it's got that slightly futuristic feel to it. Yep. And then when they jump back to the Old West, they've got like old guitars and stuff playing in the background. And it's got these Western kind of motifs. And I'm like, I love the little... Yeah. Just that change a couple of notes, change the instrument it's played on, and it fits. Again, wraps the film perfectly.
Yeah. Brilliant orchestral work by On Silvestri.
Oh, yes.
But also the use of actual songs as well. You got Huey Lewis with Power of Love and Back in Time.
Yeah, and ZZ
don't forget Back in Time. You've got ZZ Back. ZZ Top with double back.
ZZ Back with double top.
Yeah. I've not had enough of this yet. That's the problem.
Oh, I'm going to have to check out that band. ZZ Back.
ZZ Back. They're marvellous, they are. Fucking hell. There you go. Happy now?
Shithead. There we go. Shithead of the week goes to...
Yours truly. But yeah, can you not think of any kind of better music for, say, I don't know, take your pick, the skateboard chase.
Yes, I love that.
You know,
Yes.
or taking the train to 88 miles an hour, or any of it. All the music fits fucking bang on again. So for that reason alone, it makes it my top choice tonight.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that. That's
You can't. You can't.
I could, but I'm not going to because I do it.
Fuck-
I do
Well,
it.
you won't.
Right. Are we doing any honorable mentions?
I've got a couple, yes. If you would, have you got any?
You do yours. Come back around to me. I'm thinking of one. I keep hearing a theme tune pop up in my head. And I'm trying like, what show or film was that?
Right. Okay, so I've got two honorable mentions tonight. It's time to go back to the 70s with some disco funk again with the Professionals. What an intro.
You had that on the last one.
Did I?
Yes, it was a pick on the last one.
Well, it's an honorable mention tonight.
Because we started talking about that show and Starsky and Hutch along with it.
Oh, balls.
I remember now when as soon as you said that, I was like, that was a pick last time. But honorable mention shows how good it is that it was a pick last time. It's an honorable mention this time around. That tells you how good it is.
So there you go. So I'm not talking about it anymore. If you want reference, go back to when we did it's in the archive.
It's season 2.
There you go.
2 episodes.
Okay, my second honorable mention tonight is actually 2 shows. Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes.
Oh yeah.
How much brilliant music is in those 2 series?
Yeah. I can agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Absolute bang bangers.
Sorry, I just lost all fucking.
How did that get yourself?
No, my brain just blanked off. Like, okay.
Not even that funny.
I don't know what happened. My brain just
Bang bangers.
I don't know what's making me think about that. I don't know. It's just something's caught my brain. Like what?
Okay. Compose yourself, woman.
Right. Honorable mentions.
Bang bangers.
I can't actually think of any at the moment. There's nothing springing up in my mind.
Fair enough then.
It's one of those moments where I've got a theme tune in my head and it's like, I know that's from something, but I can't think what it's from. Part of my brain wants to say,
you want it and I'll play it.
I'm just going to go with an old 80s classic at this point. And I think it might have been a pick last time, but for me, the A-Team.
Oh.
Yes, it was the A-Team. Yeah. That's what was going on in my brain. I was like, is that A-Team? Is that A-Team?
Yes, it is.
But yes, A-Team. And kind of secondary next to it, because similar kind of idea, Airwolf.
Nice. Well, you know how I feel about the Airwolf.
Yes.
You all do.
Yes. You appeared on a podcast talking about Airwolf a couple of times, actually.
Yes, and those boys are the 80s years are doing a podcast on the A-Team at the moment. As we speak, they're going through the A-Team. So
may have to go over and take that a look.
Yeah, I should probably end up appearing on that at some point. Because I was supposed to do this series, but I couldn't get the scheduling right. So there you go.
It's always scheduling conflicts that fuck things up for you the most.
Well, they're American gentlemen, so so big up to Greg and Dave from the 80s years.
Yes, best of luck with your A-Team podcast. But yes, that was the tune I was thinking. I just could not pick in my brain whether that was A-Team or not. I was like, is it? Am I thinking? Maybe I'm thinking it's the G.I. Joe theme tune. I don't know. I don't know anything these days.
Best way I found. Well, then, I think that
Experience
is going to
bliss.
draw us.
I'm permanently blissful.
That
Anyway,
will draw us to a close, folks.
yes.
And it's been bloody lovely to be back, I've got to say.
Yes, yes. And coming up next week, we have a little bit of a geek chat.
Well, we do.
Yes, and we
We've got
have
to talk about.
we do have quite a bit to talk about. So some new toy news from the recent New York Toy Fair that happened a couple of weeks ago, well, about a week ago.
Which has made me very happy.
Some of the reveals were just like,
Yes, but keep your powder dry on that because we're going to talk about it next week.
yes, yes. So look forward to that, folks, next week. And much like when we do Geek Chat, there will be photos, there will be images of what we're talking about, so you can see what we've been seeing.
Which fucks Tony right up because he barely listens to the podcast.
I know. That's why I do it. Is fuck with him.
Right then. We'll be out of there, folks.
Yes, we'll see you next time, guys.
And remember, if you're walking on eggs, don't hop.
Yes.
We'll see you down the road, folks. Bye.
Good night, everyone. Catch you in the next one. Bye.